ladies and gentlemen, joining us is Ojiokwe, the Empress of Umukwata. What details of stories trending around?
Good morning. How are you this morning? Rufi on fire. I've been by. How are you this morning? I know why you're dancing. But you know I come in peace. I always just come I am with How are you this morning? How are you managing with these guys?
I'm trying. You can see.
I have a lot of stories to cover. Let's begin. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Focusing on reactions, trailing the dramatic public confrontation between the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, and a military personnel on Tuesday. The incident unfolded when soldiers reportedly acting on orders from a former Chief of Naval Staff forcibly removed FCT development control officials who were enforcing a directive to halt the development of a plot of land in Abuja that the minister described as illegal. Let's take a look.
You know what I'm saying here? I'm acting on this order. Yes. This order. Yes. It's not a government order. He has no power. Former. Okay, okay, can I tell something?
Sir, let me request to enlighten you. So there's no such thing as a former vice admiral.
Okay, thank you very much.
Vice admiral is vice admiral.
It's not an officer now. He's not serving the government. Even if he's serving in government, this government property. Show me the document you have. You have no document.
So what documents?
Bring the document.
You have documents and everything has been submitted, sir.
Excuse me, I'm the minister.
Yes, sir.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to act in this impunity. Where the approval even to build. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, look, I'm sorry, you see what I have. You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not got a chief of defense staff who spoke to me now, you could have killed everybody here. No problem. I'm not one of those that they can intimidate. I'm doing my job.
We are not intimidating anybody.
That's what you're doing.
The civilian, the engineer mobilized to site, and then staff or workers of FCDA look at this to intimidate them.
No, listen now. That is the problem.
Them. And that was when the admiral gave the order.
He cannot give order against government.
Because the papers are complete and he said it's submitted.
Are you the one? Listen, you know the problem you have. Are you the one that will say, paper, show me that you are old. First of all, show me that government gave you this place. Two, show me that you have an approval to build what you are building. It has nothing to do with, I'm a vice admiral, I'm a lieutenant general. That is not it. We must work according to law. We must work according to law.
We forwarded it to me.
And to who?
No, you don't tell like this. Don't tell like this. Don't you try it. Don't try it. Don't tell me I'm lying. Don't tell me I'm lying. Who are you?
I don't know what I
Just stop
this here. Stop this.
How do I face him? How do I face him? This is not professional. It's not professional. Please. You can't be pressing a minister with this thing.
And then you to carry line.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop
that?
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, good officer.
I will not shut up.
Will you get up?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut me up.
Will you keep quiet?
You can't shut me up, sir.
Food.
I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool,
You can shoot anybody like that.
sir. I'm not a fool. I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
I'm acting on order.
For which order?
I'm a fool.
You say whether you love it here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool. I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
You would have killed everybody here.
No, we are not killing anybody. We won't kill anybody.
So intense. Oh my goodness. Well, speaking to the press after that confrontation, Wike accused the military of intimidation, insisting that the occupants failed to provide valid acquisition documents or building approvals when challenged by development control officers.
I don't understand how somebody who attained that position and see that he has a problem cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. But simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail or intimidation. And you can imagine where you cannot even prove where are the documents. And the director of the control is there. I said, look, I was there. I said, bring the documents. You don't have the documents. Bring the approval for building. You don't have it. And how can we continue to allow lawlessness to prevail in this country? What about those who don't have the military? What about those who don't have security? It has gotten to a level where when government officials are carrying out their job, you go and bring security to intimidate them against government officials. I will not accept that.
All right, Wike has said that he had contacted the Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Naval Staff, both of whom assured him the matter will be resolved. I mean, reactions have trailed. Ayo, the name of the naval officer who actually called these military personnel to get rid of those people that were developing the land.
Yes, so that's Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, retired.
He's retired.
Yes, he was former
officer.
Chief of Naval Staff. I think he served 2 years ago.
So he's
retired but not tired.
He's retired but not tired.
He is retired but not tired. But you heard the officer there saying that he's not retired. Once a naval officer, if you can correct
He's
me.
not ex. So we
he's-
can use the word ex Air Vice. I said so you can use retired.
You can use
but
retired, but you can't say former.
Former, yes,
okay.
former.
All right.
Yeah.
We're unraveling
Got
so many
educated.
things. Yes.
Educated.
Let's take some reactions because reactions have
Okay.
trailed. This person wrote on X. Classic case of he who lives by the sword dies by the sword. We get things say na fubara. Anyways, power isn't loud. Wike is not used to getting a no. That's why he thinks he could intimidate an officer that probably already had him in mind. These are soldiers. He could have just spoken to his superior instead of trying to intimidate or even use foul language. Now, he ended up embarrassing himself. Now, I got this comment on WhatsApp, and this person wrote, what does the law say? This is Wike versus Nigeria naval officer. We may be happy that Wike met his match today. We may even say them serve the food of intimidation where himself they serve others. But regardless of our personal opinion, the law is not emotional and will never be. Under the law, a military officer does not have the right to intervene in land dispute matters, talk less of stopping a minister from inspecting a land. Under the Land Use Act, the land ownership belongs to the governor of the state, of which Wike is equivalent to in the FCT. Land disputes are civil cases, and even the police doesn't have the right to intervene until there is a crime, like fighting. The basic responsibility of the Nigerian military is to defend Nigeria from external aggression, maintain the territorial integrity and secure the borders, suppress insurrection, and act in aid of civil authorities to restore order under specific conditions and presidential directive only. Any attempt by a military officer like what we saw today to assert jurisdiction or forcibly intervene in a non-military land dispute is unlawful and an abuse of power. That military officer and whoever sent them on that mission needs to face punishment for acting outside their legal jurisdiction. It is an insult to our democratic ruling to have military officers sent to protect ordinary land, a civil case for that matter. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Rufai is already screaming, I disagree.
Totally.
Okay, so I'll come to you, but
Yes,
before I come
yes.
to you, let me take a statement as well. The former Chief of Army Staff, Toko Buratai, has condemned Wike's confrontation with the soldier, describing it as a threat to national security that demands an immediate apology. In a strongly worded release, the former army chief said Wike's public disparagement of a uniformed officer transcends mere misconduct and represents a probable threat to institutional integrity. Well, let's take that statement right now. Can we pull up that statement? It says, a minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes at the core of our nation's command and control structure. It deliberately undermines the chain of command, disrespects the authority of the commander-in-chief, and grievously wounds the morale of every individual who serves under the Nigerian flag. Buratai argued that such actions erode the foundation of discipline upon which Nigeria's national security apparatus stands. He dismissed suggestions that the incident was political theater, calling it instead a reckless endangerment of national order and a clear indication of undermining the federal government's authority. The former army chief demanded that Wike immediately issue an apology to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as commander-in-chief of the armed forces and to the officer whose honor was violated. He insisted that the nation's security must come first and called for decisive action rather than politics of military bashing. I mean, we've gotten two different reports to balance this story, Rufai. But, you know, this Buratai's intervention adds another, significant military voice to the growing controversy surrounding Wike's confrontation with the soldiers. Your thoughts before we take more reactions?
In the words of Nyesom Wike, if he didn't dare, he didn't dare. He never. Why I disagree with that first message you read is the fact that, do you know that the FCDA had sent security personnel to go harass the engineer working on the site before? It was in reaction to that that the army now sent people there. So that analogy was wrong. The FCDA at first used force. And it's in reaction to that, they brought another level of force. So you can say, oh, violation of laws and everything. But it is in reaction to that. So both of them, on that score, they are wrong. The second score that is wrong, please, with due respect, how many court orders has Wike himself respected of people that he goes ahead, that they have a court paper, and they have an initial agreement, he will turn their pack around and take it? Didn't we talk about the story of those two young girls here? Didn't I challenge the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Falana, about it? How many has he respected? See, let's not deceive ourselves. Wike has acted like a god over the land in Abuja, and he forgets that you're not going to be FCT minister forever. Before you, El Rufai, he did his own. He still left in the end. Why?
Meaning?
Please, be gently. Do it.
Speaks evil as well.
Do it slowly.
All right.
The third point is, you now got there. You claim that you have called before. You had called the man superior. Why was that the show? It's because you wanted to intimidate him. But the man refused to be cowed. Yerima refused to be cowed. And please, those that are trying to skew narrative, Yerima didn't insult the minister.
All right.
All he said is, how can you call somebody a fool and you expect him not to talk? The next thing, you are a boy. Just like one minister was calling me a boy the other day, small boy. The next thing, I was already after I finished school before. Is that the bone of contention?
All right.
Please, like I said, the Hadiza Bala Usman's index should be released to the public so that we even have a ministerial code and screening.
All right.
We can't just have all sorts of things happen like this now.
Rufai, you have more opportunity to speak. Let's take some more reactions. This is from Characteristics, who wrote, unfortunately, this incident reflects a broader pattern where some retired or serving military officers attempt to use armed personnel to intimidate civilian authorities or protect questionable private interests. Such behavior undermines the rule of law, erodes public trust in the armed forces, and weakens Nigeria's democratic institutions. The president, as commander-in-chief, must call the military hierarchy to order. The military must reaffirm its constitutional duty to remain subordinate to civil authority and ensure that no officer serving or retired, uses the uniform to pursue private gain. The Nigerian Armed Forces have a proud history of discipline and service to the nation. That discipline must extend to respecting the boundaries of lawful deployment and upholding the supremacy of civilian authority. The events in the FCT should serve as a wake-up call for renewed civil-military education and strict accountability within the rank. Well, before I come to you, we got reports alleging that, that disputed 30-hectare plot of land in Gadwa district was originally allocated to serving and retired military officers, but was later revoked by Wike. That report has been making the rounds on social media. The report also alleged that the land was reallocated to Wike's political associates and that the revocation and redistribution were carried out in total disregard of due process, official recommendations, and existing approvals. Well, according to a 2022 letter from the FCTA Parks and Recreation Department, the land was originally designated as a green area for park development and was subdivided by various organizations, including Santos Estates Limited and Kuiro International Ventures. An approval was reportedly sought since 2014, but ignored despite memos recommending it. The FCT minister was said to have changed the land use from park to recreation to multi-purpose before issuing fresh rights of occupancy to new beneficiary. We're seeing this sort of, reports. And I must say, those documents that were presented right now has not been independently verified by Arise News. But these are the reports that are circulating, plus the fact that it's trending. The dispute, Ayo, exposes the complexity of land administration in the FCT, where powerful interests often collide. Wike has built his FCT tenure on aggressive enforcement against illegal development. These new allegations raise questions about transparency in his own reallocation process. Well, a 2022 video showing the moment a chief superintendent of police defied an order from Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to vacate the Magodo Phase 2 estate amid a lingering land dispute has resurfaced online, drawing sharp comparisons with FCT Minister Wike's confrontation with the soldier. Let's take a look.
Can you call your superior in Abuja and tell them that the governor is here and I'm the chief security officer and that you don't have any business being in my state right now and that I want you to disengage forthwith for him?
Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, sir. I'm not here on my own orders.
That's why I'm asking you to make a phone call and tell them, your superior, that I'm here standing in front of you. Make that phone call.
Thank you, sir. I'm here on instruction of this Inspector General of Police to the AGF, sir. And that is why I'm here. I'm too small or too low to call them. Your Excellency, sir, with due respect, sir, you can call them directly, sir.
I have spoken to the Attorney General this morning, so he's not aware that you are here.
We are expecting the call that we should disengage.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yes, sir.
Because when I make the phone call, it will be tougher. If you can call and say that the governor is here in front of you, what should you do?
It is not my duty to call because I'm too low to do that, sir. Okay. If you call...
So where are your men?
My men are here. They are all over the estate.
Yes, sir. You're assistant, what is it?
I'm a chief superintendent of police.
Oh, CSP?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So, pressman, don't worry. I'll make 2 phone calls, right? One to the Inspector General of Police and one to the Attorney General of the Federation. Very illegal operation. They have absolutely nothing, and I'm the chief security of the state.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, give me 5 minutes. I'll make those 2 phone calls.
All right. I mean, that video began trending, and you can see the stark difference between how the minister handled the soldier and how Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, handled a police officer with respect and with respect to the Nigerian public. He didn't call him a fool. He didn't tell him to shut up. You know, he was not disrespecting the man in uniform. And you see these pictures have started trending online. This is it. You are a fool. I'm not a fool, sir. And the military man stood his ground. Ayo,
All right, so some people have described this show of, I don't know what to call it. I'm trying to remove the word show of shame, but I don't think there's anything more elevated, anything better to call it. Yes, it's a show of shame, and it's quite unfortunate that this has happened, but it gives us an opportunity to see what happens. This is impunity versus impunity, because if you look at it objectively, both sides, and as reflected by the tweets or the ex-posts you read out, are, they come under questioning. Number one is that when you speak to many quarters, this issue could have been resolved amicably without this show of shame and show of force and show of whose power is higher than the other power. What were the options available to the FCT minister? On arriving there, the easiest thing is that when matters like this happen, you go to court. As they always ask, that this could have been resolved using, and this is where we talk about the respect of the rule of law. But guess what? We don't have the respect for rule of law and institutions. Hence, we take matters into our own hands, and then we have a state of anarchy. And that's what ensued yesterday. Very unfortunate incident. A state of anarchy where Nigerians then resort to taking matters into their own hands. So what does this mean? Does it mean that the response to FCT Minister Wike's going around revoking land is to get military on your land so that he will not be able to enter? That's a state of anarchy, whereby people take matters into their own law and they don't respect the rule of law. And so in the same vein as well, the military, former CNS, could have gone to court to challenge the revocation of the land by Mr. Wike, instead of sending his boys to the ground to resist any kind of... But that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. It is the strength of our institutions, and that's why we keep talking about strengthening our institution. I say this because if anything had happened, Wike would have unnecessarily wasted the lives of those servicemen, because he had said that everybody here would die if I wanted to show myself.
No, would have died. I don't think he said...
He said that if there would have been a shootout if he wanted to assert his authority.
No,
so what I'm saying... No, I watched the video.
He said...
I watched the video.
He said, what you are doing here, people would have died.
Yeah, well, that's... So what he meant was that if he had allowed the altercation between his security aides and the military... But that's what I'm saying, that these young men who are supposed to be saving lives and properties of Nigeria would have died for a useless cause because people's egos were God. That's what I'm saying, that if we don't respect institutions and the rule of law, this is what happens with big manism in Nigeria. And so that's why I'm saying that on both sides, we have the courts for a reason. We have due process for a reason. Can we follow due process? For too long, people take matters into their own hands, and we have, powerful people just flouting the laws for no reason. I applaud the uniformed officer. According to a military man, no commissioned officer would take that insult to his person lying low. And so he spoke with dignity, he spoke with respect, and he stood his ground based on orders.
We're yet to hear from the military hierarchy at this point. We've heard from Buratai. So we'd like to see really the resolution to this sort of engagement. Plenty questions were raised, and I'll just ask some of them. And this is for, the military command. First, can the Navy or military stop enforcement action by civil authorities too? Can an officer of the Nigerian Armed Forces in uniform be abused and insulted? Is the uniform not the symbol of the sovereignty of Nigeria? Can civil authorities disrespect the sovereignty of Nigeria as represented in the military officer in uniform? Finally, should the minister not have reported the officer to his commander-in-chief? We did